Welcome back to Google Cloud Next 26. We are streaming live here in Las Vegas. I'm Alison Kosik alongside John Furrier, and we're about to kind of enter the conversation about how real-time data isn't just speeding things up, it's turning data pipelines into kind of decision engines.
Yeah, data feeds AI, and everyone knows that. The platform, data cloud, Google's been great, expanding, but the key thing is having the connections into the compute, and agents is going to be super critical, and there's a lot of great work going on there, and some big announcements here at Google Next. So this next session is going to talk about the plumbing, getting that data into the AI as fast as possible.
All right, let's bring in our guests. We've got Benjamin Kennedy, Cloud Solutions Architect with Striim. Welcome to theCUBE.
Thank you.
And Vinod Ramachandran.
Yep.
You're the Senior Product Manager with Google Cloud.
Yes.
Welcome to theCUBE as well. So let me start with this question. At a high level, what does a modern real-time data architecture on Google Cloud actually look like?
Yeah, sure. Think about it, right? You're getting in streaming in data at rapid pace. So real-time data, like time series data, any of the data, it's coming at a very high throughput. It's immediately available through like streaming ingestion systems on key analytical systems such as BigQuery or AlloyDB and so on and so forth. And customers can immediately get insights on that in their agentic systems, turning insights into actions. And we're able to do it at agent scale today at Google.
Amazing.
Yep.
So real time is a big focus.
Yep.
Data lakes, love data lakes, but now you have data lakes and other things.
Correct.
What's the architecture look like for the modern AI layer? Because the agents need to have all the cloud native goodness with Kubernetes, containers, but now this agentic layer is emerging, the control plane.
Yep.
They need to get fed the data. What are some of the architectural changes that are new, and what does it do?
Yeah, great. So what customers don't have to do, like they have existing ingestion pipelines, right? They have disparate data sources. Think about like Oracle, MySQL Server, and so on and so forth. These systems already can feed data into like an object store like cloud storage. If they pick open formats such as Iceberg, they can immediately be able to get this access to data in BigQuery or AlloyDB and so on and so forth. So what this really means is that they don't have to make big deltas or big changes. What they have to do is make sure that agents can immediately access them, and that's the fundamental pivot. And with partners such as Striim, like they can actually do this today. And so Ben can talk to you about like key ingestion sources that enable you here.
Ben, take us through some of the key changes.
Yeah, so with Striim, and Striim really enables you to do that real-time data replication at scale, right? So we're kind of designed to do that ingestion from your Oracle and your SQL Server and your kind of operational databases, and then replicate that data in real time with sub-second or second latency into your analytics systems, that those agents can then be used to actually make those real-time decisions.
This is our 17th year doing theCUBE. We've had many deep tech conversations or enterprise conversations. I'd say over the past couple of years, the word database comes up here and there. This year, databases are front and center because agents need to access all the data. So you got data lakes. I mean, database, we've covered databases for sure. Who doesn't love databases? But like, it hasn't been like the central thing. Now you mentioned Alloy, you got Spanner. The databases are out there, you got the pipelines.
Yeah.
How does the architecture change? Because now that dream scenario of many databases is actually coming to fruition.
Yeah, and you want to use the right database for the right use case here, right? And so that some of the challenges are that you want to replicate from all these different operational systems into all of those different database targets. So writing into Spanner or AlloyDB and your Iceberg tables all at the same time, all in real time, and Striim allows you to do that and allows you to do that replication with a simple, straightforward methodology and pipeline.
Data gravity comes up a lot. It's always, since Hadoop days, not to date myself, but data does have gravity, but data pipelines are out there too, and some are confused by the fact that, okay, I have pipelines, I rely on them, they've been doing a good job, but now all this new stuff's coming out there, so I won't say fear, uncertainty, and doubt, there's just more confusion. What is the impact of the Gen AI stack, full stack, to the pipelines? Is it a win? Is it a challenge? How should people be thinking about their data pipelines? Because generating pipelines on the fly to me, is a feature.
Of course it is. It's an absolute win.
It's a huge win. So clarify the impact of data pipeline, what it means to the architect, to the developers, and the infrastructure folks.
So think about the full stack, right? So you have the compute, but then you have the differentiated storage on, say, some system like cloud storage. Your automated pipeline can now just write straight into open formats like Iceberg, and it's immediately available in all these analytical systems. So it's an absolute win. So analysts or system engineers building these pipelines can just make this tweak, use open formats and see it immediately accessible, so it's actually a feature, not a bug.
Yeah, so open formats is key.
Yes.
All right, so there's no issue. So the answer is, go open formats.
Without compromise.
And magic happens.
Yes.
All right, what's your take on that? You obviously would agree, right?
No, absolutely. And really writing into all these different open formats and being able to do that in real time unlocks all of your agentic workflows. So you can build agents on top of it, and they can make the best decision and the right decision immediately and get that value.
All right, so I got to ask the Lakehouse question to the PM on Lakehouse. Congratulations, by the way.
Thank you.
We've been covering Databricks and Snowflake. Databricks obviously here as a partner.
Yep.
How's that impact the customer? People want heterogeneous, multi-vendor, distributed computing, hybrid cloud with AI. What's the role of Databricks? Do you guys partner? You guys frenemies? How does that work?
Look, we are partners, so we actually announced our partnership in this conference. So we have a very collaborative ecosystem. Our lakehouse is an AI-native cross-cloud lakehouse. So this cross-cloud lakehouse supports open formats such as Apache Iceberg, but we also support the Apache Iceberg REST catalog, and we collaborate with partners such as Databricks. So we are able to immediately access, say, Iceberg tables from Databricks, cross-cloud, and we demonstrated it in the keynote and different talks in this session as well. So, we are partners, and our goal is to unlock and enable customers, using open formats without compromise across clouds.
Benjamin, what's your take on the do-it-yourself pipelining versus managed services? Because you're going to have a lot more interactions with the data lakes across multiple databases, open formats.
Yeah, there's a lot of different solutions out there, and you can always kind of build that solution yourself, but the challenge that you always run into there is that they become very fragile, and it becomes a lot to manage. And so whenever you need that solution that's going to work at your scale in really, really large, complex organizations, you don't want to add any more complexity, but you need that simplified solution that you know is going to work and always just going to functional and has all those kind of enterprise kind of self-recovery and those kind of features on top of it. And so that's whenever you'd want to bring work with a partner like Striim to help you solve and resolve that problem.
Talk about the customer proof points, because put it into action. Give us an example. How are people rolling this out? How do you see your product evolving? Start with some customer examples.
So we have a story with UPS, so Ben, you want to cover that?
No, yeah, absolutely. So we've worked directly with UPS. So during COVID, they ran into an issue where they had a lot more fraud and risk and kind of package theft, right? And so they used Striim along with Google to help resolve and solve that problem at scale. And so their current architecture and their current solutions were kind of failing to keep up with that scale. So by integrating and using Striim to pull from SQL Server and structured and all these unstructured data, they were then able to flow and in real time replicate that data into BigQuery along with GCS, and then build agentic models on top of that to reduce their fraud risk and then drive that revenue and kind of reduce their fraud as well as package detection.
Everyone's experienced package lifting, five-finger discounts. We used to say, what was the blocker? Access to the data, or what was the challenge? What specifically was the issue? Yeah,
so there were really two main challenges there, right? That first was scale. So being able to replicate that data in a kind of simple fashion, as well as the real-time aspect, right? Package detection and fraud risk is happening in real time, and therefore you need that data in real time for your agentic workflows and to build these kind of agentic models on top of it.
And the other thing is the entire ingestion system itself. They had disparate data sources, structured data, unstructured data, multimodal data, all ingested into one system to kind of come up with this insight. So I think that's the key too. Ingesting all these disparate sources to turn insights into actions in near real time.
What was the outcome of that? Was they were taking what, images? Was it delivery? What was the business function?
Yeah, so it was using images and analytic real-time data as well as data from emails and integrating all that together into one platform, right, in real time, and they use Striim to kind of do that and accomplish that.
Can I connect my Ring camera to it? And
yeah, I was just going to say, the pictures are spot on, by the way.
I mean, we all seen that. Here's your picture. It's on, service deliveries all going to multimodal.
Yep.
Yeah, and so and UPS used Striim, along with Google to solve and resolve that problem and to reduce that package theft, at scale across the whole country.
Awesome. How can other customers, obviously big enterprise, have a lot of legacy? What's the roadmap there? What's the prescription to enterprise?
So if you're standardizing locus, like with different sources, like wherever your disparate data, you can just bring it into a lakehouse architecture and then build it ground up then. Immediately you can then access it in all these agents. And then the most important thing, customers were doing this like batch analysis. Now you can do real time and turn the insights into immediate actions, agentic actions, and that's where you prevent things like fraud, threat detection, and so on and so forth. There's a gamut of use cases across industries where they can use this.
You guys are feeding the agents. This is the requisite requirements to get that data.
Correct.
In open formats, okay, it's there. Where does it go to how does the agents interact with this? How does people think about this from an enablement standpoint?
Yeah, so for example, right, like take about a retail use case, like you're trying to do returns, right, and once you're fed, like the agents are able to access it. Earlier on you would run SQL queries, things like that to figure out what's happening, what's the return rate, the marketing team will build a dashboard. Now you can just run a few prompts. Tell me about this data. Tell me why this return's happening. It gives you an immediate histogram, and it'll say, okay, all right, so this segment, this is happening, right? Okay, so you now, all right, so and it could be 3 reasons. Seasonality, like this product, like there's an issue with sizes. So the chief marketing officer can immediately see this in a dashboard, and they say, okay, I'm going to change this for this region. I'm going to reallocate the products this way and take that action, and that's their core value. Like we are enabling customers to really get time to market much faster.
You're bringing intelligence into the business logic and the interactions at the point of query. Moving
from human scale to agent scale. That's the key.
All right.
From a C-suite perspective, what are the biggest risks in this?
I think it's just a win. Like as long as they're on the right architecture, with open formats without compromise, and with the right partner such as Google, I think they'll be doing great.
Well, first of all, the CFO is going to love it. If they get returns and you got the fraud, that's a metric. You're starting to see business engineering going on. It's almost like how we deal with coding. And C-suite could just say, solve that problem.
No.
Talk to the AI. Well, it's good enablement. Okay, what's on the roadmap? Give us a taste of what's next, because we're going to see a lot more things come to the table in the next 6 to 12 months. I mean, it's changing so fast. Velocity is a huge concern, not concern, but more of opportunity to manage. You lock in on a model or you lock into an approach, you don't want to have to pivot. We want to actually build on a trajectory. How do you guys see that evolving?
So we have an ecosystem that has no lock-in. So you can use our first party, an open format system without compromise. We offer differentiated capabilities on our first party products such as BigQuery, Managed Spark, AlloyDB, and so on and so forth. But we do not have any lock-in. So we are bringing advanced differentiation from BigQuery. For example, we talked about ingestion real-time streaming. So we solve these problems at scale, bringing Google's history over 10 years onto these products. But if you're on these open systems, you have no lock-in. So you're getting all the best goodies of Google without having any lock-in. So.
Yeah, and really your end state of data is real time. You want the most up-to-date data to make the right decisions always. And the only way to do that really at scale is to work with a partner like Striim to grab all these different data sources and replicate them into your open formats. And that way you can have and make the correct insight always across all your data.
It's interesting how the real time is such a great feature and super important. Dave Vellante and I have a joke on theCUBE, and this came out when digital news started coming because we're digital first. New York Times, Wall Street Journal, that's yesterday's news. And that's a lot of the dashboard world we live in. Post-mortem analysis. Yeah, great to send reports to people who want to just catch up, but for real time, you want real-time access. You want what's happening now, not what happened yesterday.
Correct.
This is where the analytics market's shifting, and they're data hounds too. They love data. I mean, you look at Procter & Gamble, CPG companies. We had a few of them on. Some of these companies are leaning in, have done a lot of data, regulated industries like healthcare.
Yes.
I mean, massive market. They've done a lot of data work.
That is correct.
And so now they're up-leveled.
Very true. And then basically they can now take actions very quickly, and I know that really enables and creates value for users and customers across these segments.
We'll have to add that to our Agents in Action series, which has been very popular. People want, Google sponsor, thank you very much. People want to see the execution.
That is correct.
Because there's no strategy risk at this point. Everyone's saying, take AI and infuse it in all aspects of the business.
Right.
Engineering, deep tech, C-suite. All happening at the same time. Where's the execution? So that's the #1 question we get here on theCUBE. What's the execution risk?
I mean, say execution risk is like, people should be in this right now. This is the space to be. Have your teams kind of like start building POCs and engagements. We at Google are here to serve you. So if you have an interesting use case, talk to us, and then we can really land it for you.
The execution risk is don't get paralyzed.
Take action.
Take action, get in. That's the execution. Guys, thanks so much, appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
And you've been watching theCUBE, the leader in live technology coverage. We'll be right back.